There are those among us who walk through life with a sense of weight they cannot explain. They feel as if every step has been training, as if the hardships were chosen long before they could speak. This path is not weakness, it is initiation. It is the silent preparation of spirit for a rare kind of mastery. Throughout history, only a few carried this vibration. In the mountains, monks would watch the students who struggled most, not with the sword but with their own thoughts. They believed those who endured silently were being shaped into vessels of a deeper frequency. Not everyone noticed it, but those who carried it were set apart. In this video, I will guide you through 7 signs that reveal whether you too carry what I call the Shaolin frequency of inner mastery. These are not ordinary traits. They are markers that echo across centuries of discipline, meditation, and unseen trials. You will learn why solitude calls to you when others fear it. You will discover why pain has been your sharpest teacher, and why your presence alone unsettles some and awakens others. Stay until the end, because the 7th sign is the one that reveals why your journey has felt so heavy and why it may hold the key to a hidden strength you have not fully recognized yet. I welcome you to Shaolin Soulfire, where we uncover not just stories of monks and warriors, but the wisdom that breathes through them into our lives today. If you seek to train not only your body, but also your mind and spirit, then you are in the right place. Subscribe now and walk with us on this path of awakening. There's a reason why silence feels heavy to many people. When the noise of the world fades, they are forced to hear themselves, and that frightens them. But for you, silence has never been an enemy. It is the air that steadies you, the ground beneath your feet. I remember a winter morning in the temple, when the snow had fallen so thick that the mountain path disappeared. The young students grew restless. They wanted to train, to move, to break the stillness with action. But my master sat in the courtyard, unmoving, letting the snow cover his robe. Hours passed, and not a word was spoken. Later he told me, silence is not nothingness. It is the sharpening stone of the spirit. When you sit with silence long enough, the noise within begins to settle. Thoughts that once scattered like birds return in order, and suddenly the mind becomes clear, sharp, precise. This is why the Shaolin say silence is not absence, but a weapon, a blade that cuts through confusion, a shield that protects from distraction. In the stillness, you begin to hear a voice that is not of the body, not of the restless mind. It is the deeper current of the spirit. It speaks in calm knowing, in unshakable clarity. You start to see that every action, every word carries weight. Silence teaches restraint, but it also teaches presence. Many fear silence because it confronts them with their shadows, but a disciplined heart welcomes it. For in that space where nothing seems to move, the most important movements of the spirit begin to unfold. This is why for the true practitioner, silence is not retreat. It is training, it is strength. There are some who hear the word discipline and feel resistance rise inside them. To them, it means limitation, restriction, something heavy to carry. But to the one walking the path of mastery, discipline is not a chain. It is a key. It does not confine. It unlocks. Think of the breath. To breathe without awareness is ordinary. It comes and goes like a drifting wind. But when the breath is trained, slowed, and directed, it becomes a bridge between body and mind. What was once automatic becomes powerful. It steadies emotions, strengthens focus, and awakens the hidden reserves of energy within. The same is true of daily practice. Rising at the same hour, repeating the same movement, returning to the same form, it may appear repetitive to outsiders. Yet each repetition is a quiet carving of character. With every strike, every stance, every mindful inhale, the self is being sculpted. Rules and routines are not cages, but tools that chip away at weakness, distraction, and chaos until only clarity remains. In ancient traditions, freedom was never seen as doing whatever the heart desires. True freedom was the ability to master the self, to remain steady in any storm, to walk into conflict with peace unshaken. Discipline is the frequency that allows such freedom to take shape. It is the rhythm that aligns body, mind, and spirit, so that they no longer pull in different directions but move as one. When this alignment is reached, life itself begins to change. Choices are no longer ruled by impulse. The body no longer betrays the mind, and the mind no longer betrays the spirit. What remains is a harmony so rare that it becomes destiny itself, not chosen by chance, but forged by practice. Strength is often mistaken for force. People think of loud voices, clenched fists, or victories won in the open. Yet the deepest strength rarely shows itself in such ways. It does not need to. There is a kind of power that moves quietly, shaping outcomes without ever announcing itself. Think of water striking stone. The stone is hard, unyielding, proud in its form. The water does not argue with it, does not try to break it in one violent blow. Instead, it flows, steady and patient, returning again and again. In time, what seemed unbreakable is reshaped, carved smooth by persistence. That is the way of true strength. When life sends trials, many rush to fight back with anger or defiance. But the disciplined one does not always meet force with force. He absorbs, he watches, he endures the weight without collapsing under it. And in that endurance, something alchemical happens. Pain is not only carried, it is transformed into wisdom, patience, resilience. In the old temples, masters would sometimes test their students not with combat, but with silence. Days of hunger, hours of stillness, endless repetition of a single movement. It was not to see who was strongest in the body, but who could remain unbroken in the spirit. Those who endured discovered that their strength was invisible, yet undeniable. This invisible strength is what allows one to walk into conflict without being ruled by it, to remain calm when others panic, to speak softly and still be heard. It is a strength that does not need to prove itself, because it has already been proven in the battles within. And once that strength is forged, no storm outside can ever take it away. There are moments when you step into a room, and before a single word is spoken, you already know. The air feels heavier, the unspoken hangs thicker than the spoken. Most people pass through without noticing. They laugh, they talk, they fill the silence with noise, but you feel what lies beneath. You sense when someone's smile is only a mask, when a voice trembles though it sounds steady, when the spirit carries a weight too heavy to name. This sensitivity is not a curse. It is a refined awareness, the kind that comes from discipline, stillness, and long practice of listening beyond the surface. The ancients taught that everything is vibration, and the one who trains the mind can hear what is hidden in the spaces between words. To notice when energy is fractured is not weakness, it is perception sharpened like a blade that cuts through illusion. In the temple, the elders would say, to know the enemy's shadow before he moves is greater than to strike him after he has attacked. This was not only about combat, but about people. The ability to sense when the heart is restless, when the mind is clouded, when the spirit is dim. This is the beginning of wisdom. It is not always easy to carry such perception. To feel the storms inside others can be heavy, especially when they cannot see it themselves. But mastery is not about running from sensitivity. It is about holding it without being consumed, about noticing the fracture without becoming fractured. In this way, perception becomes strength. It allows you to walk with clarity in a world where most remain blind, and to act not from impulse but from deep understanding. There is a fire that does not burn the body but shapes the soul. You have walked through it many times. Others might see scars, but you know those marks are not signs of defeat. They are the proof that you endured, that the storms which came to shatter you became the very forces that refined you. Hardship has a way of stripping away illusions. When betrayal comes, it tears the mask from false friendships. When loss arrives, it reveals what cannot be taken. Each wound that once felt unbearable has, over time, carved your spirit sharper, like a blade forged in relentless heat. This is why the ancients taught that suffering is not only pain, it is alchemy. In the old monasteries, students were often given trials that seemed impossible. Long hours of meditation in the cold, endless days of repetition until their muscles trembled. Some thought it was cruelty. But those who stayed learned a secret. The struggle was never punishment. It was transformation. Through it, the weak fell away, and the hidden strength within them was revealed. You too have walked this path, though perhaps not in the temple. Life itself has been your training ground. Nights of loneliness taught you endurance. The weight of rejection taught you independence. The sting of betrayal taught you discernment. Each sorrow melted away what was unnecessary and left only what was essential. This is the meaning of alchemy, turning the lead of pain into the gold of wisdom, shaping chaos into clarity, transforming suffering into strength. What once felt like breaking was, in truth, a forging, and the self that stands today is not weaker for the wounds, but sharper, steadier, and unshakably alive. There are times when you stand among others and feel the distance, even when no space separates you. The conversations circle around shallow matters, laughter echoes without depth, and though you are present, a part of you remains elsewhere. This detachment is not arrogance. It is the quiet knowing that your steps are guided by a different rhythm. Solitude has walked beside you often, yet it has not poisoned you with bitterness. Instead, it has sharpened your sight. When the crowd disperses and the noise fades, you are left with yourself. And in that still company, clarity is born. You learn what truly matters. You learn to hear the voice within that is easily drowned in the noise of ordinary life. The ancients spoke of the mountain path, narrow, winding, and steep. Few chose to climb it, not because it was hidden, but because it demanded more than most were willing to give. Those who walked it often walked alone, yet at the summit, they found the horizon no crowd could ever show them. This is the way of mastery. It is not crowded, because it is not meant for all. In solitude, you begin to see the patterns that rule others, the endless chase for approval, the fear of silence, the grasping at comfort. You step aside from them not in judgment, but because your spirit cannot be nourished there. The path you follow is demanding, but it is purposeful. To feel apart from ordinary crowds is not a flaw. It is a sign that your journey is not ordinary. The narrow path is not chosen by chance. It is chosen by those willing to walk with discipline, clarity, and the courage to remain alone until truth becomes their only companion. There is a presence that cannot be forced, a quiet strength that others sense before they understand it. When you speak, it is not always the words themselves that move people, but the weight carried in them. The pauses, the steadiness, the calm fire behind your tone, these are what reach deeper than language. Even your breath holds power. In moments when others are restless, your calm inhalation and exhalation begin to ripple outward. Without commanding, without demanding, you create space for stillness. It is as if your inner rhythm teaches others how to return to themselves. And when you act with focus, it does more than complete a task. It reminds people of what it means to move with intention. They see in your movements a discipline that is rare, and something within them stirs, a memory of their own forgotten strength. This is not charisma in the shallow sense, the surface shine that fades when the lights dim. What you carry is resonance. The elders spoke of resonance as the alignment of inner and outer worlds, when the energy of one life harmonizes with the greater pattern. In such a state, your presence itself becomes a teaching. Resonance is born from discipline, years of training, moments of silence, countless repetitions that shape not only body but spirit. When you refine yourself in this way, your energy begins to speak louder than any words. People feel it without knowing why. This is why some are drawn to you and why others are unsettled. They sense that you move differently, that you carry a frequency which awakens something in them. Not by effort, not by display, but simply by being aligned within. That is resonance. Every sign you carry is a reminder that your life is not random. The path that shaped you through silence, discipline, hardship, and clarity has been preparing you to walk differently from the crowd. This Shaolin frequency is not about power over others, but mastery within yourself. It teaches you to move with focus, to breathe with calm, to act with purpose, and to see beyond what most ignore. The lesson is simple yet demanding. Live these truths daily. Guard your silence as a weapon. Treat discipline not as a cage, but as freedom. Let suffering become your alchemy, and let your presence resonate without force. In small moments, in how you listen, how you endure, how you rise each morning, the frequency is strengthened. Remember, you were not built to blend in. You were built to embody mastery. Carry it with humility and carry it with strength. If this message spoke to your spirit, let it guide the way you walk forward. And if you wish to continue walking with us, like this video, share it with others on the path, and subscribe to our channel, Shaolin Soulfire. May your steps remain steady and your spirit remain unshakable.